Right, good morning. My name's David, and today I am running a session of Fellowship using the In Rebellion supplement. Fellowship is a Powered by the Apocalypse game written by Jacob Randolph. It's a game about playing a band of heroes fighting against a big bad guy, or in the case of the In Rebellion settlement, it's about being sort of scrappy rebels fighting against an established empire and attempting to bring it down. In the game we're playing currently, I've made a couple of minor tweaks to the setting to bring it into that sort of like slightly more into that like kind of young adult Avatar, She-Ra, Dragon Prince sort of feeling, sort of genre. We'll be playing with younger protagonists today. We had our first session last time, so this is our second session. We're picking up from the events of last time. We're playing this game today as part of the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet's an online role-playing game community. We get together and play games like this. We have a sort of central calendar where you can sign up for games. We also produce a monthly gaming zine called Codex, and a number of different podcasts. One of which, Plus One Forward, is specifically about PBTA games. So if you're into PBTA games, I'd recommend checking that one out, certainly. And all the others are great too. That's the Gauntlet. We can find out more about us at gauntlet-rpg.com, which gives, you can find out information about everything we do over there. So I think that's everything for my own introductions for this what we're doing here. All that needs to be said is for my players to introduce themselves and the characters they've been playing, and maybe a little bit about what happened last time. So yeah, as I said, my name's David. I use he/him pronouns, and I will go through the go through the old character keeper order to get us started, I think. So Stephen, if you'd like to start off with your introduction.
Yeah, hi there. I'm Steven, he, him, and I'm playing Ossian, he, him, a former moon prince, now on the run, sometimes a light wolf, have a black cat named Shadow living in my coat pocket. I'm responsible for Jamie and her character Sabila as well.
Also responsible for me as a player, yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so I am Jamie, they, them pronouns please. I'm playing Sabila, who also uses the same pronouns. They are quite a handful. They're doing their best. And last time they just rushed in to try to protect everybody else. It didn't go so well. It didn't go so badly, so I think that's enough to encourage Sabila with their bad habits. And last time Sabila got to go face to face with a dragon hunter, so that was really cool and terrible at the same time. And let's see, Sabila is a hatchling, they're newborn. And they also can use both fire and poison, and they have the strength of 100, which is fun. They also have a dragon spirit who advises them, which is their mother who passed away, but unfortunately Sabila has a -1 in wisdom, so we're going to see how that goes every time they try to talk to each other. But yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Alex.
Yeah, I'm Alex. He, him, or they, them pronouns are fine. I'm playing the Harbinger, Phaethon, who is a cranky teenager and a renegade defector from the Ordo Noctis, the Order of Harbingers that work alongside the Empire, but seem to serve their own ends. And Phaethon can do a bunch of cool, like, Jedi-style magic, and probably other kinds of magic, and has a pet eyeball with bat wings that he named Eyebat because he was gonna give it a real name, but that stuck. His main mode of interaction so far seems to be like being simultaneously protective of Sabila and like being annoyed at their, whole thing.
Brilliant.
Sure, and I'm Dave, he, him pronouns. I am playing Kalliban, who is the Moon Prince, brother to Ossian, but still in service of the Empire. Because I'm playing the Nemesis playbook. The Nemesis is slightly different, sort of like, I suppose, Catra from Shira, where though I'm a PC, I am still firmly on the side of the forces that Rebellion oppose. Caliban's objectives are to save their brother from the clutches of the evil dragon that has kidnapped them. Last time I was mostly playing off screen. We saw the Fellowship held in action. I was watching from afar, using my authority to berate Legate Drusilla Corax into obeying me so we could strike the Fellowship. We also revealed that the secrets they thought they had stolen actually potentially put innocents at risk. So this is a race against time to try and ensure that they don't hurt innocents like the evil criminals that they are.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we established, and what transpired last time was the rebels had raided a sort of an imperial dispatch station and obtained some plans, which they are ferrying to their contacts in a nearby town. So we are going to start off by using one of the words, one of the sort of story types that as the game refers to them. This will be the long journey one. This is basically just a way of sort of framing a scene and how we introduce it, how we play through that. Just to sort of like abstract a little the process of going on the journey, which sort of in keeping with the sort of source material. A lot of the sort of, a lot of the what this game is about is sort of those traveling between places, meeting new people, all that sort of thing. So we will get into that. I have also just realized I forgot to introduce our safety tools. So I'll quickly do that. We will be using the X card, obviously, as ever in this game. If anything comes up that you are not happy with for whatever reason, whether that be for reasons of personal comfort or safety, or just for like tonal inconsistency or what have you, feel free to invoke the X card. You can throw up an X sign with your hands. You can type X in chat at the side of the screen, or you can just say, I'd like to X card that. Full disclosure, my preference, if it's cool with you, is for people to say it aloud, just because, as I mentioned, every time we play this game, there is a lot of stuff that I am looking at, which means my eyes aren't necessarily on the screen at all times. So, that's certainly the easiest way of attracting my attention. Will be that method. Once the X card's been invoked, we'll work to remove whatever people are unhappy with from the scene, and potentially from sort of going on forwards. I may need to ask you exactly what it is that you're Xing, but I won't ask you to justify or explain yourself. That's fine. If you want it gone, it's gone. If there's any specifics you want to bring up at that point about it, then feel free to do so. But like I said, you will not be expected to explain yourself. Likewise, if something you've brought in has been excarded, don't take that as a personal judgment. It's we're no need for sort of hand wringing and apologies. Just we'll just sort it as needed and then move on. We'll also be using the script change tool. Again, I won't go into this in full detail now. I have now added the PDF of all the details to the folder, but just briefly to go over, like I said, the most important commands for it. Can call pause at any moment. Pause is literally that we'll just take a moment and stop. This will give us some space to have an out of character conversation if needed. If there's something we want to discuss about how the way a scene's going, or something you're not happy with, or even something you really like and want to kind of keep on with, that's cool. We can call a quick pause and just have that little out of character discussion. Or it might be just like a pause, like, hang on a second, I've got to go and answer the door, I'll be back in a minute. That's also fine. No, I mean, if anyone's coming to the door at the moment, which I guess deliveries. The other ones I think the most useful are fast forward, which can be used to kind of move over something, to sort of draw a veil over something if we don't want to go into any detail on it, or if we feel like a scene's kind of reached a natural conclusion and we just want to kind of carry on to the next scene. We can call it just a quick fast forward there. And rewind, which can be used for making quick revisions to stuff that has happened, whether again that be for sort of like tonal stuff, or you realize the way you said something didn't actually quite make sense with what you were trying to do. It came across more aggressive than you wanted, or not aggressive enough, and you decide you want to kind of review it. That's also cool. So yes, those are our safety tools. We've also had previously a discussion on lines and veils, and you should be able to see those in the tab on the character sheet. If you do need to update those at any point, feel free to do so. Cool. So that slight digression aside, yes, the way that the long journey scene type works is that we're going to go round. It doesn't have to be like in character keeper order. This we'll kind of play this off one another. So what each player will get the opportunity to describe how describe something that happens on your journey. This can be a problem or a so yeah, that kind of comes up when you're on your journey. So it could be a problem or something you encounter or something like that, and then you ask another player how they resolved that problem. They will give kind of a description of what happened. Then they will set up a new problem, pass that on to another player, and so on until everyone's had a chance to kind of resolve an issue on the road. Explicitly, we will be including Kalliban in this one for the purposes of this. We'll consider them a member of the Fellowship, though you may want to consider that maybe their challenge is something that doesn't. Sorry about that. That maybe their challenge is something that is maybe more focused on their personal journey rather than affecting the rest of the group. But we will see how that comes up in play. So I'll start by setting the scene. So as I say, you've kind of this will be sort of picking up a kind of in the immediate aftermath of where where the scene ended last time. So you've been kind of trekking across country, trying to evade Imperial patrols. You said you've obviously you've escaped the last patrol that came for you, but you have no doubt that there will be more on your trail. So you're kind of under that pressure of having a potential force pursuing you as you're traveling. You're sort of going through, like I said, kind of scrubby hillsides and fields, sort of lots of goat tracks and that sort of thing. And you're making your way towards a port city, or port town at any rate, sort of down obviously the other side of this range of hills, in a little cove. I think that's sort of very like Mediterranean style, quite steep hills with sort of whitewashed buildings running down the sides around a sort of around a harbour. The town is called Port Sundown, and it, as I said, it is where you are going to be meeting up with a contact in the Resistance. It's you've probably with kind of evading patrols and stuff, it's probably about a day or so's journey you've got to make if you make good time. But yeah, does anyone wish to open up with a challenge? Oh, I suppose
like
I should
something
say
we're struggling with, or
it can be something you're struggling with, or it can be so yeah, like or it can be kind of like an opportunity for discovering something as well. So I'll give it, actually I'll read through the kind of some of the example questions it gives in the bit in the road. Is like, what did you find off the beaten path? What was really dangerous about this part of the journey? Or who did you meet on the road? So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a conflict. It can be kind of like an opportunity or a moment of, like, yes, a discovery or something, if you wish.
so this is kind of like the Lord of the Rings moment where they went through 4 chapters by just having the camera pan and watch people walk. Like, that's kind of okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think what happened is that the patrols have increased, and we had to spend a lot of time hiding and trying to keep to the shadows. We had to go off of the beaten path several times.
Yeah, and if you want to, so basically, if you want to nominate another player and ask them how kind of they overcame this issue, and then yeah, they can kind of give a little bit and then introduce their own one. So yeah.
Yeah. So Ossian, how did your knowledge of the patrols and the enemy help us avoid detection?
Okay. I think that as we are sorry, I'm just thinking through here.
No worries.
I think as we are kind of patrolling off the I think probably what we do is that there are kind of because there's this whole thing that light is what's important in this empire, that there are sort of undeclared shadow paths that are vaguely known about by the empire, but they're often used by smugglers because they're slightly taboo to for like common travelers to use. And even the empire tends to like move its troops along the lines of kind of it's kind of these kinds of like neon lit magic highways.
Oh, that's so cool. I like that.
Oh, I'd like to jump in with a little detail here, if I may, because I really like that idea. That there's maybe some of these like essentially are like little more than goat trails, but like people specifically cultivate like sort of phosphorescent like mushrooms and stuff along these paths, so that they kind of there's just this like dim bluish glow that you can't really see from any distance away, but that kind of guide your feet in the darkness.
And
awesome.
I think some of them are dangerous to touch, and Sabila keeps wanting to put them in their mouth, and Ossian keeps going, no.
Yeah, probably. It's a good thing I took this field medic move.
But it looks so delicious. I'm sure it tastes like strawberries.
Brilliant.
Phaethon just like zaps one of the mushrooms out of their hand. Like, no.
What?
Like,
How
just
could
as
you?
we kind of go through the montage, there's just like one with Sabila with X's over her eyes as they've set up like a medical tent around her.
It was worth
Brilliant.
it.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, Ossian, if you would like to kind of establish our next challenge that you meet along the path, or as I say, it doesn't have to be a challenge. It can, but set up our next frame for something to happen.
What's the magical danger that lurks in the wilds since we've toppled the gods, Phaethon? And how do you help us overcome it?
Ooh. I think it's like an ancient I'm thinking it's like I'm trying to think, is it I've got like two competing ideas bouncing in my head right now.
Ooh.
Sorry. I think like as we get like deeper and further away from where there are patrols, I think there's like a golem of some sort, an ancient, like that was created to serve a god, and ever since the gods were toppled, it just kind of wanders aimlessly and occasionally lashes out at anybody nearby. And how Phaethon helps us get past it. I think it uses like he lights up a bunch of those phosphorescent mushrooms in another location to sort of create a light show that distracts the golem so they can slip past.
Brilliant, thank you. If you would like to set up the next scene and pass it on to someone, as I say, if you do want to go set up one specifically for Kalliban that like deals with their side of things, and then feel free to do that as well.
Yeah, I'm. Can I don't recall exactly how this works. Can I pass? I'm just kind of drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, no worries.
Right.
In which case, I will frame one for Kalliban, I think. So Kalliban, you are. I think I will just ask how how are you making your way to Port Sundown so that it is less obvious to the rest of the Imperial forces exactly what it is you're there for?
This seems like a perfect chance to use my new move, a cunning disguise. So I've chosen as my advance that if you have time and safety, you may disguise yourself as a member of the Fellowship, as a common member of any profession. Though the forces are hunting for them, Kalliban is cunning and a master of disguise and a mastermind, so is already waiting for them and has taken position working as in the tavern in the town. Anyone who's in the audience watching will recognize that this flimsy disguise clearly is Kalliban, but the PCs can never see through it until he pulls away the disguise and reveals himself.
Oh, sorry, you were muted.
I was saying, I like to think it's not just even pulling away the mask; it's just that you're wearing a different hat.
I'm going full on like Master from Doctor Who here, right? Where you just sort of there's always Well, we established he wears a mask, and I think that the effect for this is Kalliban has a box of masks and their faces of people in various horrific and terrified poses, and he puts the mask on, and there's a zap of energy, and he takes their form.
Nice.
Very cool.
I want to know where they got those.
Or who they got it from.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you would like to frame one last challenge, that it will be Sabila, I believe, to overcome.
Look, I'm going to go back to what Sabila painted about the mushrooms. What is it about these mushrooms that is actually almost intoxicating? Perhaps literally so. The scent or smell of them on this path has made Sabila quite squiffy. How do they overcome this mushroom haze?
Ooh, yeah, I think Sabila starts slurring. You know, if you talk to fairies, like they sound absolutely drunk. And I think what actually snaps them out of it is that as Phaethon is moving ahead, not wanting to deal with Sabila shenanigans, they almost fall into like a pit, and Sabila is like, "Oh no, don't worry, my love, I'll protect you," and like just like tries their best. I think it's just more shenanigans at first as a slurry. Sabila tries their best, but after a while, I think Sabila doesn't realize how strong their dragon blood is to be able to like work through it really quickly. In order to protect Phaethon, of course, at all costs.
I wonder if you almost wander off the path and this look of horror from Ossian, knowing that that's a bad thing.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I'm curious, as a kind of additional question off of that, because these can also be opportunities. Do you discover some like some useful like feature of these mushrooms we didn't know about?
Yeah, I think by accident. I don't think Sabila would have figured it out on their own, but
I was assuming.
yeah, that's obvious, right? But I do think Sabila is able to show that if we can get rid of the whiffy, weird side effects, the mushrooms are actually really good for opening the senses, like in a daredevil kind of way, like just being more sensitive about what's going on nearby, who is nearby, picking all of that up. So it increases the senses for a short while.
Phaethon would definitely be interested in that because he also definitely just ate shit after like tripping on a branch.
Oh, there you go. We're all getting high.
No, he doesn't even have that excuse. It's just it's dark and he's like trying to not use a lot of magic.
Yeah, we're getting censored. We're getting protested by some parental organizations over
yeah,
this
like
episode.
Moms of America or something, right? Like.
Excellent. Yeah, and finally, I think I believe I get to establish just a little scene of my own, just showing the kind of the threats that you face. And I think actually this this will be we will just get that brief shot back to the fort where we see Drusilla in that classic classic villain pose, like stood looking out of a window over the sort of patrol yard below, obviously speaking to someone behind her but without looking at them, and she says, "Bring them back to me. I trust you to handle this job better than your compatriot. I want them alive." And we'll see kind of a shadowy figure move out of the room after her, and we will then switch back to, as I say, it's morning when you finally make your way to Port Sundown. As I say, it's got that kind of it's a nice day. It's nice sunny. There's that kind of glittery blue seas, and I said that the buildings sort of glowing in the light. As you approach the town, this it's not like a super fortified city. It's probably more defended actually on around the harbour itself is kind of like sort of fortified, but it's not like a big walled city here. It's there are clearly imperial patrols and guard points sort of at the gates to the sort of the entrances to this town. But it doesn't give the impression of being under particular high alert or lockdown. It's for those of you familiar with the Empire. It's not like this isn't a huge important military port or anything like that. It's just one of many sort of trading ports and fishing towns around the coast. And it doesn't appear to be in any particularly high state of alert. There is, it said it's mostly houses. There's some bigger buildings here. There is a small sort of like academy here, and it has a big like clock tower. But it looks like a fairly peaceful, sleepy backwater, which yeah, and I guess so I think actually what I will do here is probably the most probably the most straightforward way of handling this actually is rather than make you like specifically roll to gain access to the city without being detected, I think I'm going to, there is on your rebellion sheet, there is the making contact move, which is a roll with sense. So I will have you, if one of you wants to take the lead on this, then you can. We will see how that roll goes, and that will kind of determine how your entry to the town and your initial contact with your contact goes. So, who would like to take the lead on getting in touch with the rebellion?
I think I am the most sensible, and I think this looks like his basically Phaethon sends Bat out to like search out the contact to scout the area and find where the contact is. And if I can, there's the roll for your party. That's an 11.
I was also going to say that you do have bonds with your competitors, so you could have rolled with what's it, but it's.
I don't need.
You can't
bonds.
get better than an 11 anyway. So, well, I mean, you can't get a better result than a 10 plus. So
I don't need any of your help.
Yeah. So you managed to make your way into the town without being detected. As I say, the people here clearly aren't alerted. They don't seem to be like specifically on the lookout for you at the moment, or any other threat really. And as I say, the empire as a whole, it's not like the whole place is under constant lockdown or anything like that. It's so what sort of presence of like guards there are in the city is just fairly kind of laid back and normal looking. But you will make your way to meet up with your contact, who is a they are a baker by the name of Gustavo. He runs a bakery just off the main town square, and he's a sort of large balding man with sort of big mutton chops, and a big flour covered apron, he will kind of bring you into the back room into the actual the kitchen of the bakery. It's obviously it's hot, and the smell of baking bread fills the air. He will toss everyone a couple of rolls as he kind of carefully cracks the seal on the or he actually he takes out a sort of long thin knife and actually breaks it so that the seal remains intact in case they need to use it in future. he begins like looking through these this like docket of plans, and as he reads through, there's an increasing sign of concern on his face. As he will sort of speak to you and say, this is worrying. We knew this message was bound for the garrison here. We assumed it was to increase the hunting for rebel activity, but he kind of leans back against the against like the big counter, says, "This is something different entirely. It appears Port Sundown they're expecting an assault here by the people of Coral Island." And as an aside, you'll be probably most of you will be vaguely familiar with them. The Coral Islands is basically a big archipelago, a little ways off the imperial mainland. It has remained independent for a long time. It trades with the Empire. It doesn't necessarily bear any explicit malice towards the Empire, and vice versa. They are largely content to do their own thing. Though tensions have been increasing recently, with the general rise of sort of militancy within the Empire, the people of the Coral Islands have become more concerned about the possibility of an attack. And they've been kind of building up their own defenses in return. What you also be aware, one of the reasons that one of the sort of the more practical reasons is that they have maintained their independence as well, is that the people of the Coral Islands have great control over sort of water-based magics, and it makes any efforts to mount a seaborne invasion of the islands difficult, very difficult. They have a massive force multiplier, essentially defending themselves from naval invasion, which has basically made them more expensive a proposition to conquer than you might expect. But yeah, the Gustavo will continue. It seems that an imperial team recently launched. They've stolen some sort of relic. They don't mention the specifics of it here, which has been held in the is being held in the academy for safekeeping and study, and it looks like they are expecting the islanders to make a raid to recapture this. I do not know what to do about this. If they attack without warning, the people of this town could be at great risk. I do not. Obviously, I don't want to help the Empire, but I don't know what option we have in this case. And he doesn't quite like crumple up the docket of fold of papers that he's got, but he does kind of like, just like slams it down onto the table in sort of frustration.
We have the option of not doing anything and letting this assault take place. This is good for us.
But not for the people of this town.
Neither is the Empire. And neither is what's coming.
Is this... I kind of think over, as I'm kind of thinking out loud, is this good for us, though? Surely the Empire knew to some degree that stealing this artifact has some meaning to the Coral Islanders. Perhaps this is a trap for them. If we just leave the artifact in the Empire's hands, who knows what is going to happen here? We need to move and try to take it back before any of this unnecessary bloodshed takes place.
I don't know.
Well, we can't let people get hurt, right?
People get hurt, Sabila. It's what they do.
Yeah, but, they only get hurt if we're not here to protect them, but we're here, so everything's gonna be fine. Right, Ossian?
I just that is in character. It's kind of a non-committal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just as sure as I am. I just know it, right? And when Ossian's confident, I am confident. It's gonna be great.
How do you know who you're hurting with your actions?
I don't know who I'm hurting, but I know that my actions can prevent at least someone from coming to harm, and I'm going to take it.
And if someone else comes to harm who wouldn't have, because you acted?
Phaethon, you can make that argument one way or the other. I hurt someone because I acted. I hurt someone because I didn't act. I chose not to act. I'm proposing what the consequences might be far down the line is no way to make an argument against action. Acting is all we can do.
You're not wrong there.
And out of character, I'm also kind of aiming us towards trying to get fellowship with the Coral Islanders, but because that's important to the rebellion, but that's out of character. I say that we get this artifact and try to return it to the Islanders. We don't know we don't know if the Islanders are going to be able to take it back themselves, and we don't know what damage it could do in the Empire's hands.
That seems as reasonable a course of action as any.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking. I'm just gonna eat more bread for now. Just let me know when we're heading out.
You do that, Sabila.
Yeah.
Phaethon's gonna go brood.
And Sabila's just gonna be like, "Oh, have you tasted this? It's so bready. It's perfect."
Awesome. Right. Well, I think we've just gone over the hour now, so I think we'll take our first break here.
Ooh, can we cut back to Kalliban later, like their reaction to overhearing all of
Yeah,
this
no, I think
after the break? Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, we'll come back and see their reaction to this.
We spent 5 years establishing this cover identity just for this moment.
Yeah.
Now that's some thinking down the line.
You won't believe how good my patisserie is. That's how committed Kalliban is to destroying the rebellion.
Your croissants are the best.
Taste the millet filet of evil.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think that's it. I think we will give Kalliban the opportunity to make their presence known, and see how you want to approach this. I'll say if we take a 10-minute break here, and I might go and grab some coffee again, we'll come back. We'll come back then. See you all in a moment.
All right.
Yeah, so welcome back. As I say, we'll hop back in on the end of that last scene. So we're all still gathered in the bakers, and at least have, I think, a direction of travel now, if not an actual plan as yet. Yeah. So yeah, Kalliban, do you wish to make your big reveal yet, or to hold that for a moment still?
I'm happy to appear. We see Hans, the ruby-cheeked baker's boy, who enters the scene with freshly made funnel cake, offering it around, but especially to Sabila, who seems most interested in the baked goods.
Ooh, funnel cake, my favorite.
And look to Sabila and say, "Are you here to rescue us? I hear Master Gustav says that there are invaders coming from over the sea."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I'm with Ossian, and Ossian's the best and is a hero. So of course we're gonna save everybody. It's a given. We're heroes, you know.
I will help. What could I do?
Oh, that's great. More help, Ossian. What can they do?
Oh, I mean, do you have any non-baking related? Do you have anything beyond a baking related skill set?
You mean the rebellion doesn't need funnel cake?
So Hans flexes their fists and say, "I need bread every morning from 4 till 7 a.m. Do you not know how strong this makes you?" And they pull out a large baker's paddle, which is sharp looking, and wave it in a authoritative way.
Wow, so strong.
Said, "I can help you in any way that you want."
We can be partners. I'm strong too. Let's be strong together.
Hurrah!
Do the two of you is this just a bond moment?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Because I think at this point, Sabila looks at Ossian. Please, can we keep him? He's awesome. He's strong like me. I mean, not that you're not strong, Ossian, but you know.
No, okay. We can keep him.
Yeah, did you hear that? That's great.
Hooray! Does that mean I am a member of the rebellion now too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's how it works, right?
Nods and says,
I
"I
don't-
will protect you all."
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint her, so I just kind of nod.
Yeah, it sort of turns away from the scene, and you can sort of see the eyes glitter white underneath. How foolish they are! We should celebrate. I will make little cream cakes.
Oh, what kind of cream? Are they going to come in different colors?
Looks at Sabila. Said, "I will make whatever colors you wish."
Oh, but I want you to be happy too. What's your favorite color?
I like red.
I like red too. We're best friends now.
And velvet cakes it shall be.
That's great. Wow, Ossian, I made a new friend. I'm so happy.
That's wonderful, Sabila.
I know, right?
I I'm I'm glad that you're able to be so open with people. It's something that I haven't really been able to manage even after leaving the royal family.
Oh, but we became best friends too, right? Well, I
Of
mean, you're more like a
course.
brother. You're more like everything to me. Yeah, you're really special. And I think that only happened because you were open. So, yeah.
Right,
Uh,
a brother, of course. And I kind of like stare off into the distance and uh
Oh, speaking of special, oh, Phaethon, have you tried this funnel cake?
it might be at this point that you realize Phaethon is not there. He's been like chilling outside and just using wizardry to listen in. Uh,
What? Where is he? Hey, Phaethon. Phaethon, are you listening in again? Like in
uh,
this, because like Sabila believes they have to talk in this deep decibel voice to be heard better.
yeah. So he can also speak remotely. So
Oh, cool.
says, um, "What is it, Sabila?"
do I hear this too?
You just like a voice coming from like where you would expect Phaethon to be, but he's like chilling across the street, leaning against like one of those cool moonlight lampposts.
Wait, you're just across the street, Phaethon. Why are you?
Don't worry, I'll go get him. I'll make sure my love has all of the funnel cake he wants. And I put on a lot, like I bring out 7 pieces. Phaethon, I'm coming. Don't worry, I'll be
I'm
right
good,
there.
actually.
Give the thumbs up to Phaethon.
Yeah, and Phaethon just face palms like.
Look, I drew hearts on them.
Thanks.
When you say thank you, like they start to blush. Oh, Phaethon. And then like it's that thing where like they hit you too hard because they're so happy.
Yeah, Phaethon's just. Why?
Oh, you're speechless with your love for me. This is perfect. I'm gonna keep this in mind. Funnel cakes. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, hey, look. More sweets over there.
Where? And they start running off.
Yeah.
I mean, don't run off. We're still. They're gone.
Awesome. Cool. And I think we'll cut that scene there. And we'll probably hop to a later scene of the plan actually going into action, whatever the plan may be. I just wanted to quickly call out that, yeah, I definitely think that Ossian and Sabila definitely got a bond on each other in that scene. So if you'd like to add that. And I think that it probably makes I think it certainly makes sense for Kalliban to get a bond on Sabila. Whether you think that should be reciprocal or not, I'll leave to the both of you. With the whole it being in a kind of assumed identity, I don't know if Sabila has actually made any true impact on Kalliban there. I don't know what you think, Dave.
Oh, undoubtedly, because Sabila was kind and friendly, and that will make the inevitable betrayal all that much harder.
Yeah, sure thing. No, that's perfect then. Yeah, cool. So yeah, you can gain a bond on each other as well for that. Oh, the one thing actually I didn't mention last time, and I will start tracking this. I've got it on this thing, but I'll just make a note here for now. So the when you act to I will just read the exact wording of this. So with the way the Empire works is whenever so whenever you there's a couple of things it does with bonds essentially. So when you cause lasting harm to the Empire itself will gain a bond on everyone involved in that, which generally is going to be all of you. Certainly all of you acting against the Empire at that time. When the Empire has bonds on you, it generates something called notoriety. This determines both how likely you are to be recognized by Imperial forces, and it also when you specifically draw attention as well, the Empire will take action against rebellion, and your notoriety will determine how effective that Imperial assault is. So that's how notoriety works, broadly speaking. So I think that the three of you rebels will currently have notoriety 1 from the fight with the Imperial Patrol last time, because it was specifically witnessed by someone in a position of power. So I think you are sort of on the map, as it were. But you'll just be at notoriety 1 at the moment. So that's how that works. If you would gain, so normally I said when you gain a bond on NPCs, they become a companion. The big exception to that is if you gain a bond on one of the leaders, other than Kalliban, you can spend that bond to sort of cause them to hesitate or delay, but they don't become your companion. Cool. So I think that covers all of that housekeeping type thing. So I think I'm just going to get a brief sense. We can just have a quick chat. What do you think your plan of action is for trying to retrieve this artifact?
I mean, Ossian's plan is to try to sneak in and steal it, which I assume is going to turn into Sabila smashing through a wall at some point.
Oh, maybe. Ignores dragon spell about smashing doors.
If this is a sealed location, I can just use my connection to the ley lines of magic that hold reality together to access it.
Yep, that sounds cool.
Yeah, basically, I think Sabila is just there for if things go wrong and things need to be hit. But I think the subtle, smart approach works well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be, there's like a little scene like where like, they're like, Ossian and Sabila are like plotting out like a plan to like get in, like approach and get into the place, and Phaethon just is just like draws some symbols on the ground and opens up a portal to the inside. It's like,
very cool.
You good?
Very edgy.
Yeah, awesome. No, I like that. So yeah, and I think that this so yeah, that's cool, and that's so I think we'll probably start things off where you've reached where this artifact is being held, and we will take things from there. Sorry, brain freeze there. Yeah, I will not have a formalized clock, but we can all just work under the assumption that there is a clock counting down for when the Coral Islanders actually launch their assault, with obviously the more complications and stuff you run into, the greater the chance of their assault beginning, and the conflict happening there.
I presume that at a point that I presume is suitable, by the way, David, that I can put them on the spot and make a cut against the party and reveal that the attack is underway.
Yeah, certainly. Cool. So that's awesome. So yeah, and I think this looks, so I think you will have been able to determine, because it's not, they possibly weren't explicit about it, but we won't go into the information gathering necessary for this, because it's not super interesting, and it's not really a thing that this game cares about all that much. So you will have learned that this artifact, whatever it may be, is being held in the clock tower of the academy, towards obviously not actually in the actual workings itself, but there's, it's one of these ones where all the floors in between are sort of being converted for use as archives and offices and that sort of thing. And as you trace these runes on the floor, there is this portal opens up, and you're able to step through, and you will find yourself, as I say, it's a sort of big. It's quite a big square tower. The floor you enter onto is, like I said, it has been converted to be a like a sort of office lab type space. It's got kind of the like a spiral staircase running up around the edge of the tower itself. So you kind of got stairs going around parts of a couple of the walls in here. But yeah, that you will as you come into the room, I said there's some desks around and a few bookcases with books and like on them. But in the center of the room, there's obviously like some spaces being cleared, and there's a couple of like big pallet tables set up, and on it is a long like narwhal tusk, horn, whatever you call it anyway, and but as I said, it's like a narwhal tusk, but it's also sort of got in the grooves, the spiral up it. There is some small like incrustations of living coral growing on it, and yeah, I mean probably everyone to some extent, but certainly you, Phaethon, you can kind of feel the magic radiating off of it. It's got that kind of almost like static electricity type feel around it. There are some people in this room. There are a few people who are dressed in sort of scholarly type robes. And you will also recognize, not like specifically, but there is somebody here who is dressed in the robes of a harbinger. They have sort of long robes and a sort of cowled hood, under which is a beaten copper mask, which it's got, like, you can see kind of the outline of a sharp beak poking out from underneath it.
I mean, I remember this is a kind of, it seems like an opportunity for spout lore.
Certainly, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
So yes, so I should say, when I say you may recognize who this is in specific, of course, because
Okay.
I was also thinking in terms of like what the actual uniform looks like.
I mean, I like the description David gave, like the sort of like the copper plague doctor mask almost. Very freaky. I like it. I think this particular like, I think they each have like a mask that is, the same overall structure, but the like engravings, the pattern of engravings on each one is unique. And the engraving, the pattern on this mask belongs to a deacon of the order. I'm trying to think of a good
like a
Hypnos.
name, or ooh, nice.
Yeah, I think like Deacon Hypnos or something to that effect.
Awesome, yeah, I like it. Yes, so as you like enter, as you sort of appear in the room, there will be the researchers will sort of panic for a moment, but they are clearly they're essentially like in the these are sort of like your equivalent of your sort of like military scientist type of things. They are not entirely defenseless, but yeah, they are definitely taken aback. This is not the sort of thing they expect to happen, and that they will but they will kind of startle and probably start like reaching for like some like knives or something that they have on them, sort of just pulling out sort of daggers, as they're not entirely sure what to make of this. They will be crying out in alarm, but Deacon Hypnos will turn their mask towards you, and say, well, if it isn't the young traitor, this will bring me little pleasure, young one, but who knows, it may bring me some measure of renown. And they will start to kind of move their hands in a sort of like complicated gesture, and I think like small orbs of they almost look like soap bubbles, that kind of small rainbowy sheen on them start to sort of orbit their hands and sort of gather in speed, or not even in speed, but just sort of move in more intricate patterns and start to sort of expand out around them. What do you do?
I throw a dinner roll in their face.
I mean, I have an idea
Wow, Hans, you're
of how
so
to
great.
help. I don't think it will help with the lead guy, but I think it might, because I feel like that's gonna be Phaethon's thing. But I have an idea for helping with the crowd. I think that Ossian kind of shouts out, "I am Ossian, Prince in Exile. What the Empire is doing here is unsustainable. It invites violence and chaos into the land. I ask you to stand down and retreat." And so I'm speaking out against the status quo before a crowd. Does that feel like it works here, or does it feel like it would need to be more of a receptive crowd?
I think that will. I'll just have a quick check on the move itself and see what the sort of the outcomes for it are. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Speak truth to power.
Oh, I guess on a 7+ they will only do as I do. I guess I'm coming forward unarmed.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think that these are. I think that these are probably people who could be who have the potential to be receptive to that. We'll obviously see how the roll goes, and then I will come back to.
Right, and I need where's the role for the party again?
Oh, sorry. I think it's in the character keeper tab, or for the character keeper, just to keep things nice and simple.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'll copy the link in here as well, just so it's.
Let's see what I roll, and it's a 10.
A 10. Okay, so yeah, on a on a 10 up on that move, they'll follow your lead and do as you do. And yeah, sorry, it's on a. I've still not quite got used to the way they phrase the 10 plus and 7 to 9 results in this. It throws me a little. So yes, on a 10 up, yeah, they'll do. And I think that in this case, probably that they will. They're not going to like intervene, but they will stand down if that seems fair. They're not going to make any effort to stop you from doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to...
man, and they don't even know that their boss is here.
So yeah, I think that they will kind of, they'll drop the weapons they're holding and they'll kind of back up to the edges of the room. And then Kalliban, or should I say Hans, the young baker's boy, would you like to make me a... I think this is probably... What's the move called? I think this is definitely a keep them busy roll. You are attempting to act as a distraction or buy some time, I think, with your well-aimed dinner roll.
No problem. Have the roll for your party, and we will do that. So when you're keeping them busy, I'm rolling with... Oh, there's my dice. So that's a 7 plus whatever the modifier is for...
Yeah, that's courage, sorry, for
busy.
Keeping them busy, yep.
So that will be... that will actually be, because my courage isn't high, so that's a 6. So the dinner rolls do not go according to plan.
Although you have a bond with me, so in case you want to use it. Is that how it works?
So bonds are they're not spent in the same way they are in some things use them up.
Oh,
but,
I have a bond with everyone in the party. Should I be rolling with hope?
So it's a bit of a probably not specifically for this action, because this is kind of you acting. I think it's when you are like specifically kind of like working in tandem with other people. And while this is kind of a setup-y type move, I feel like at the moment you did it, it wasn't specifically working with someone else. I think probably not in this case. But yeah, in general, it's like if 2 or more of you have bonds on each other and are working together to do a thing, then you roll with advantage. It's kind of more taking the place of like having an aid roll, as it were, rather than sort of simplifying that out a bit. But yes, so I think yeah, this bread roll bounces off the mask of the harbinger, and we possibly like see their eyes narrow slightly under the mask. I will.
Do I have potential? No, there's no potential. No, sorry, ignore me.
No. So yeah, it's not sadly no XP on a failure in this.
I do damage the stat though, don't I? When I've failed. Is that correct?
No, I don't think so. Not
Okay.
automatically. I'll just double check the move itself. Actually, so I'm still getting to grips with these. No, I think it's just a standard move against you. But yeah, what will he, like I said, his eyes narrow under the mask, but he otherwise doesn't flinch. And the sort of glowing balls around his hands explode outwards around the room. And as they will in fact they will strike out at each of you because he has a dangerous weapon or powers, as it were. So though he will actually also himself so as these orbs go out, they will each hit one of you, and as they hit you, it's not painful. In fact, it's almost the exact opposite of that. As they hit you, you kind of feel relaxed and slightly drowsy, and slowed down. So you will all be taking harm, though I will grant you all a moment if somebody wants to try and do something about that. That's fine. But yeah, everyone will be taking harm from this, though that includes the Hypnos himself, because as he unleashes this like wave of magic power, one of these orbs hits the tusk on the table, and it starts to resonate, and a kind of keening hum starts to come out of it, and a bolt of lightning lances out from it and strikes the harbinger and sort of crackles across his mask, and he lets out a startled yell of pain and alarm. So I will reveal to you his stats are. I have lost the page. Yes, so his stats are. No, that's the wrong one. No sense of right and wrong. Kaboom and mage armor. Actually, sorry, I should have said when. Technically, actually, so it's when the Fellowship is harmed. Actually, you get to tell me what happens as a result of what else happens as a result of their spell. So if you want to do something other than cause harm to him, someone can let me know. But yeah, so. But yes, in the meantime, does anyone wish to do anything about the harm that's just been dealt?
Yeah, I do think Sabila will protect Phaethon with their move.
Yep, certainly.
Because they're my love, and I will keep them safe. So they have, he has like 2 uses of the Dragon Maid armor, and the way I'm going to justify that, describe that is, Sabila will see what's coming and throw themselves in front of Phaethon in order to take the hit twice. And they'll say, "Oh, did I have another mushroom without realizing it?" So
cool. So yeah, if you want to mark off a use of that, and yes, so essentially, yeah, Phaethon, you won't take any harm from this, and anyone else who can obviously mark off armor to avoid this if they wish. If not, you mark a stat of your choice to take that's now damaged.
Which of his stats was harmed, by the way?
I think that I am going to actually harm his move, which is called No Sense of Right and Wrong. So this means that their attacks are no longer dangerous. So this means they can no longer harm multiple of you at once.
Go ahead.
But yeah, and likewise that they don't have the collateral damage, as they've realised that it's simply too risky for them to keep throwing around magic like this.
Okay.
May I attempt to overcome, please?
You certainly can. Yep. So yeah, what are you? What's your aim in this, Kalliban? What sort of does this look like for you?
So as the magic, I think, zaps out, you sort of see hands lift up the baker's paddle, and he's going to try and reflect it back with a zap back at Hypnos.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you would like to roll with blood, I believe, for overcome.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Awesome. Yes. So with that you can stop the threat, cut, or move from causing harm. So I think I'm going to say that I will allow you to protect both yourself and Ossian with that, because that seems fair.
I don't want to protect Ossian. I want to protect Sabila. Sabila is his friend.
Sure thing. Yeah. So yes, you can prevent the harm from affecting Sabila and for yourself, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think when that happens, Sabila's going to say, "Wow, Hans, you're amazing. You're a fantastic rebel, just like us. I'm so proud of you."
Hooray! Great. But I'd also potentially like to show signs of an approaching threat as we hear the horns. I make a cut against the party with my dark power, for I am a threat to the world. And we hear the horns in the bay call out as the ships from the Coral Isles are making landfall.
That sounds perfect. Yeah. And I think that also seems like a good moment to take our next break, and we'll come back and see what is in store for you next. Okay, so yeah, so we'll call that about 5 minutes, and see you then. Awesome, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, we see kind of the Harbinger unleash this wave of magic. As Hans the Baker and Sabila leap into people's way to protect them from the worst of the blast that he sends out. So he, as I say, he looks a little shocked and taken aback, but he is. He just sort of spits out, "You foolish children, you have no idea of what you are meddling with. Back down now, and you may still get out of here. This is more important than you have any inclination of."
Eek! Get him, Sabila!
Don't worry, Han. I've got you. I'll protect you. And I'm going to, unless Phaethon wants to do something first.
I was gonna say, I think Phaethon is going to suggest that Sabila grab the relic.
Yeah.
I'll take care of him.
And when you say that in that cool voice, I was like, "Wow, Phaethon, so cool." As I go for it.
Yeah. Faith, like it's one of those things where this show is animated in like a slightly, not like a realistic style, but like for that moment, like his face is depicted in like a more cartoony, like style. It's just trying to say something cool. Just yeah.
And Sabila
And,
just ruining it, as always.
Yeah. And yeah, so I would like to keep Hypnos busy.
Yes, certainly. So how does that look? What are you sort of doing to engage him? Are you just going to sort of talk to him, or are you actually going to kind of unleash some form of mystical assault upon him?
I think first it might start as talking like, "Oh, do you really think I don't know what we're messing with?" But it definitely quickly becomes like him letting loose bolts of lightning against the deacon.
Yeah, awesome. And if you'd like to make the roll, so I believe that's courage again.
Yeah.
Slowly getting there with the moves.
It seemed to only roll one of those dice. Sorry.
Yeah, no, as you can give it a roll again if you want. I know it has been a little patchy.
That is the last roll total is it seems messed up, but it looks like it was a 2 and a 4, so 8 total.
8. Okay, so so you'll buy them some time, and their attention is on you for now. But yeah, they are obviously, as you're kind of throwing out bolts of magic again, they are themselves working another spell, and they're sort of on the brink of unleashing it again. Sabila, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do what Phaethon suggested, and I'm going to do my best to be as cool as hands. So I'm going to go ahead and try to grab the horn. I'm just going to try to use my speed and strength to get to it.
Yeah, and as I say, as Deacon Hypnos is currently engaged, he can't intervene. So you will be able to get the you'll be able to grab the narwhal tusk. And I mean, this is huge. This is like several meters long. It's big, but you're very, very strong, deceptively so, in fact. And you can kind of pick it up with ease.
Yeah, I pick it up with one hand, and I'm like, "Is this it, Phaethon? I got it."
And as you do pick it up, you feel it's an odd sort of feeling. It's not like the weirdness you've had with the mushrooms or something like that. It's not. You can't hear words or anything like that, but you almost feel like you almost feel like a pull to this horn, as if it is sort of calling out to you or connecting with you in some way. There's a sort of an odd familiarity to it. Nothing you can really put your finger on it, but there's definitely a feeling there that this that this artifact is like I said, clearly has some sort of connection to you in a general sense, rather than a specific sense.
Can I say that at this point, my mom will try to intervene?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right, so I'll just read it out. A dragon spirit. This is my under my quotation mark follower, advising me on how to best be their champion. 2 uses. You may use this to call your spirit to your side and roll to speak softly with them. They have great knowledge of many things. So that's going to be with wisdom. Okay.
Yep.
Gonna ignore the all right. Oh, what a time for me to roll low. I rolled a 4, and then that's a -1, so that's a 3 in total.
Sure thing. So speak softly. On Okay, so yeah, you always get to ask 3 questions from the list in Speak Softly.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Basically on a 7 to 9, one of their answers is not helpful, which either means that it's they don't answer, or they reveal something that you really don't want to hear. Also on a 6 minus, one of their answers can be false.
Ooh, this is interesting. So out of the 3 questions, only 1 is going to be true.
Oh, well, so 2 will be one may not be a helpful answer, or may not be an answer you want, and one of the other answers has the potential to be false.
Ooh,
there isn't necessarily exactly.
Yeah, I love the way this is framed.
Yes, yeah. Nice.
So like I think in this moment it's like my hair starts to rise around me, and I think everyone can see it for a moment. There's like this huge dragon coming down through the ceiling that settles around Sabila, that's shining like moonlight, with all these stars all around them. And there's a constellation, there's a star pattern that looks like the same tattoos that Sabila has. And I think I'm going to look up, and what I'm asking in my mind is, what can my mother... I'll give you the 3 questions so that you can decide what you...
Yeah, sure thing.
So the first one is, what can they tell me or tell us about this item that I'm holding? And what does my mother want, and how can we help them, or how can I help them get it? And let's see. And what would she have us do next?
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and copy and paste so that it's easy to do.
Yeah, sure thing. So, your mother will say, child, it has been a long, long time since I have seen this.
What is it?
It is the tusk of Deep Diver, one of the ancient spirits of the world. A creature, a being of considerable power. Their tusk can commune with the great creatures of the seas, and command them and allow the people of the land to communicate with them.
Wow, that means more friends. I can't wait to tell Ossian.
And so yeah, I think the she will say this cannot be allowed to remain in the hands of the Empire. The things they would do with it are terrible. It would be better for you to destroy this than to allow them to keep it.
But what about my ocean friends that I haven't met yet?
if you can get it to them safely, by all means do so. But you cannot let this fall into the hands of the Empire.
Oh, don't worry. That's going to be really easy. I'll do it.
Yeah, and I think she has provided some semblance of answers there.
Yeah. And I'll be like, besides, Mom, I made a new friend and he's totally going to help us.
Very good, my child. And with that, sort of the vision of her sort of subsides again, and we snap back to the room. Awesome. So while this is going on, as I say, the you can hear in the sounds of the alarm being raised out by the harbour. You can probably also hear, the sounds of like footsteps running up the tower. As there will be some guards stationed here, though it's not necessarily a hugely secure facility. I think Ossian asks first. What's your sort of reaction to all of this? Yeah, and obviously as well at the moment. Sorry, I should also have mentioned that. Yeah, Phaethon has also has the deacon kind of backed up against the wall at the moment, though they are also clearly readying some form of magical counterattack. So yeah, Ossian, what do you do?
So I'm wondering if I can just take the being harmed by that blast to be hit out of the window or something.
Yes, certainly. If you wish to, if you want to do that, that's I'm happy with that.
Because I think as the alarm is going off, I think that Ossian looks back up at the tower and thinks like, Phaethon, Sabila, I trust you. And like I pull out my dagger and slice my hand, and I turn into my light wolf form and race off to the docks. That I'm trying to like kind of harry the forces and keep them from being able to like meet in an actual like fight, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, no, I will. That definitely sounds like keep them busy, and I think we can count the we can essentially count the what's the word? The garrison, the sort of basically the town garrison as a gang. So it's essentially a large group. That will mean, because you're facing them on your own, you will have to pay a price in order to get this to come off. But yeah, that you can essentially tie them up with a keep them busy roll. So I think probably.
I'll just mark one more harm damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's probably just going to be, you aren't going to be able to get through this entirely unscathed. I was going to say, I think damage makes sense. But yeah, if you would like to make a roll with courage to keep them busy.
Cool. And that's a 10.
Perfect. So yeah, you will be able to buy some time. So you're kind of slightly delaying the response of the town guard. So the Coral Islanders are able to make landfall with a minimum of violence. I will also give this now that you're outside in the out in the streets, you will be able to make out the sort of the invading force. It's small. I mean, it's not like we're not talking like an entire armada type thing here. There are like probably like three. I like those, the sort of big like catamaran style boats, like quite big, but all carved out of dark wood, inlaid with with sort of carvings, very brightly coloured sails on them. The island, as I said, are making landfall on the in the harbour, and then you also see at this point a large figure emerging from. When I say emerging from the water, I mean the water is forming itself into a sort of like probably like sort of 10-foot tall humanoid-ish figure. With sort of like the way sort of like there's possibly like a few like fish swimming around in it that sort of that give it almost like the impression of having like eyes and such like. Awesome. And as you are sort of harrying the guards, we will switch back up into the clock tower, Kalliban, what do you do?
Oh, Sabila, I'm so worried about Ossian. If we blow the horn, surely we can stop the attacking fleet.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. Thanks, Hans. So, should I go ahead and do it? Because I'm not going to, mistrust Hans.
Cool. So I think what will happen at this point is that the deacon unleashes. It's like it looks almost like a sort of butterfly formed of light that strikes into into Phaethon. And if you can mark me another damage, please, Phaethon, or a damage. Right. And he will say, "Foolish child, you know not what you mess with. Put that thing down." But yes, you may. I'm going to just have a quick consult of the moves. Yeah, I would like you. I would like you, Sabila, if you wish to, if you're going to go ahead with this using the horn to try and communicate to this impression that Hans suggested, I'm going to let you make a talk sense roll.
Okay.
So this. Which stat you roll with depends on sort of your general approach to this. I'll give you a little more context in a second, but basically, if your plan is to detail your plan and their place in it, roll with sense, which this doesn't sound like it's going to be. So but the other options, which I think are more likely, are if you're appealing to their emotions or desires, you roll with wisdom, or if you're attempting to impress, dazzle, or trick them, you roll with grace. So. What this will be, and I'll lay out sort of the specifics of this. You will have to pay a price to do this. In this case, the price that you spend will be to essentially mark off one of your uses of draconic magic. I'll let you choose which one it for the purposes of this. It doesn't matter which it is. It's just that one of them will be expended for the time being, as you have to kind of use some of your own magic to power this effect.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I was looking at, but let me know if I should spend
Oh,
aside from that, because
no, go for it.
I have the blessing of glory, force someone to listen to you when you talk sense to them, but I'm also willing to spend like an extra spell, so like it'll be the cost of two.
That's cool. Sorry, I'm just checking your thing. So that's the
Sure. It's under my core moves.
Core moves.
Yeah. Dragon magic.
Dragon magic.
The blessing of glory.
Yeah. So no, I think it makes sense. I think that you can just mark off that. That will be the one that you mark off essentially. Yeah, I didn't realize you had a move specifically. A spell specifically for that, so that makes sense. You can just essentially mark that one off.
Cool. Because I am a glorious dragon.
Yep. But yeah, what you will, you won't necessarily be like immediately aware that this is what you are doing, because you obviously you haven't seen it yet. But you are essentially communicating directly with the water spirit that is about to crash into the land, and you can essentially you can communicate what you want it to do. So yeah, like I said, you decide exactly what and how you're going to communicate with it, and then we can make that roll.
Yeah, and I think the way this is going to happen is that Sabila's going to say, "We are the Rebellion, and we're here to save the entire land, and you can become friends with us as we do so." And I'm going to talk up the exploits of Ossian and Phaethon and Hans the Baker Boy, of course. As I do so, as I try to dazzle them, in Sabila's mind, they're going to understand.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. That sounds good.
So I think that's with Grace.
Yeah, sure thing.
So that is all right. Here we go. I'm rolling. Okay. Ooh, okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, so
check what happens on an 8.
Yeah, so on a 7-up, they will do as you ask to the best of their ability. Which at the moment, are you just asking them to basically stop where they are, sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, because really, what Sabila's asking is to be friends with them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that they will. They will cease their advance, and I think that they will also communicate this to the people they're with, or at least to one of the people that they're with who is able to communicate with them. And the assault will momentarily halt. They're kind of, so you have this sudden moment where like the islanders were about to surge up onto land. But they're still remaining at the moment on their boats, possibly readying sort of their harpoons and stuff in case of a counterattack. On the other side, the guards are kind of in a moment of confusion. They've not managed to rally their own response. Sort of everything's like paused on this knife edge.
Yeah, and I think when that happens and Sabila realizes how good Hans' idea was, Sabila's gonna rush up to Hans and kiss him on the cheek. Wow, that was a great idea! You're so awesome.
But yes. Oh, sorry.
Hans smiles, and Kalliban will make a cut which turns their move back on them, because I'm hoping that my brother will learn from this mistake as the conflict is drawn to a stop. But all of a sudden we see flaming javelins come over the hill. I've lost the name of the... there we go. As Legate Corax's forces start riding through into town, now that this has been this moment of confusion has allowed the Empire to make their move.
Awesome. But yes, and to go back, what you will what you'll get is it's the obvious answer. Sabila, is that you, in order to actually like get them on side and to have them actually work with you fully, you will need to return the horn to them, which is it's mechanizing something that's already fairly obvious, but yeah,
absolutely. Unless someone wants to do something, I'm willing to, like, is it an overcome roll to be able to get it to them in time, or
so if you want to, we'll probably go for a what's the word I'm looking for? We will go for a it will probably be a it's, sorry, I'm just gone to the wrong tab. There's a move called Getaway, which basically for if you want
right.
to which we'll probably go for. But yeah, I think we will switch back to are we
gonna have our showdown with Phaethon and
so I think we'll see, actually I think I think we'll go back to Phaethon and as you're facing off against the deacon, what are you going to do?
Everything is going pear-shaped, pretty much as expected. So Phaethon wants to end this quickly, so he is going to remind the deacon that it's a bad idea to trifle with wizards.
Yep. That's...
I do not have to pay a price, but I do. So I'm going to take 2 damage to inflict 2 damage on him and damage his remaining stats.
Yep, that will, you will be able to. You will be able to sort of take him out, albeit at a cost. So yeah, if you'd like to describe how that looks.
Yeah. So I think it's. Like Phaethon conjures a bunch of like spears of light that and launches them in such ways to pin the deacon by his robe to the wall. And then I think he's just gonna like hit the deacon to knock him out. Like is the idea. I think.
Awesome.
I don't remember exactly what happened, like mechanically what occurs when you get damage every stat on a threat.
So yeah, they are taken out, which is a sort of fairly broad descriptor. It can be that they're knocked unconscious. It can be that they are forced to retreat or whatever else.
Or they befriended them.
Or yes, yeah. But yeah, I think
yeah.
in this case, he's just sort of pinned and immobile against the wall, and in a way that means he won't be able to be a meaningful threat.
I'll throw a rock at his head. It bounces off his mask, and but you see like that the sort of like. You see Phaethon's, like, the veins in Phaethon's hands and arms, like, pulsing with the same light as the spears. And, like, you see, like, a little steam coming off of them, and his, arms convulse a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, so we will then go back out to Ossian. So Ossian, yeah, you are out in the streets. You've been kind of harrying the troops there, and they said you'll see this like almost like a standoff that's been happening that is broken when you see additional troops pouring into the city from the from outside. What do you do?
Hmm. So you said they're pouring in from outside?
Yep. So they've essentially come into the city. They're coming in from the sort of, I mean, I guess from like the edges around sort of towards the harbour. But yeah, there are definitely new troops, and these are, whereas like obviously the city guard are your sort of guardsman type. These are clearly like an actual proper armed military force that's coming in.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think to figure out everything is here. I guess like is there like is this just kind of like that they've actually encircled the town, or that they're like coming in through like an actual route into the town?
Yeah, I guess that they've kind of encircled the town a bit. They're obviously
Okay.
focusing on the harbour itself. But yeah.
Okay. That. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna engage these soldiers, and I feel like I'm. Yeah, I guess I kind of rush. So is the legate actually like present, like visible, or?
No, I don't think the legate
Okay.
is actually here in person.
Okay.
This is, or at least has not made their appearance known yet. This is
Okay, cool. I'm gonna engage these soldiers then. I'm still in wolf mode because that lasts till the end of the scene.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm kind of biting and snapping at them and trying to drive them back, I guess.
Yeah, sure thing. So the I'm just gonna just double check on you blah. Bear with me 1 second. I just need to check my yeah, that's right. Yeah, cool. So yeah, awesome. So you will be essentially engaging with a gang of the of Imperial troops. Just to explain sort of how this works, a gang means that they will. I'm just going to put this in the thing as well because it's a good idea. So them being a gang means that they can, in theory, take on everybody at once if they so choose, but they're not currently in a position where they can do that because most of you aren't sort of directly engaging with them. They're also being a gang means that their stats can be marked 3 times before they're taken out. In order to actually directly target their gang stat rather than their other stat, which is in this case less of an issue anyway because they only have one other stat. It's more of an issue when you're dealing with gangs of quite skilled things where but you can only target their gang stat if you are using an area or a dangerous thing because you need to have scope to be able to specifically divide them up. but you can still otherwise attack them normally. But yeah, so and I should say, sorry, when are you attempting here to so yeah, I think this is probably still at the moment going to be
Courage.
yep, exactly. Keep them busy.
Yeah, because I'm not really interested in like.
Yeah, or I suppose you could go for an overcome because you're trying to avoid, redirect, or prevent the harm that they will cause. So I guess it depends what you think is more your focus at the minute. If it's to just distract them in general, or to specifically prevent them from.
I guess I'm trying to distract them in general for like the sea folks to get out of Dodge.
Sure thing.
And that's a 6.
Okay, yeah. So I think the way this looks is that they will you're just simply not able to keep them all engaged at once. They have their specific orders, and they are able to reach the harbour, and at this point a fight does break out between them and the islanders. So you will. Well, the fight's only just sort of beginning at this point, but it's clear that obviously they have the numbers and they have the position that they will be able to drive the islanders off given time. But they are not quite there yet. So we'll switch back to the clock tower, and yeah, I guess yeah, Sabila, what is are you planning to sort of make your break for it now?
Absolutely.
Can I react before I do that? When Sabila kisses Hans on the cheek, Hans says, "Thank you, Sabila. Thank you for doing my bidding." And the mask comes off and black shadow erupts across the room as Kalliban is revealed. I'd like to suggest that I have advantage at this point and would like to finish them.
Yeah, go for it. I think that seems fair.
So I'm going to roll with iron at this point. Oh, that's a 8. That's a 10.
Okay, yes. So on a 10, you are able to take Sabila out. I'm just going to check. Sorry, how this.
When I'm doing it with iron,
Which
last in a contest of power or endurance. On a 10 plus, they pass out.
Yep. So yeah, I guess how does this look as you come for Sabila?
I think she sort of was kind and kissed him on the cheek, and there's this moment in Kalliban's heart where he goes, "No, not this time. You could be friends with this one," and then the magic overcomes. He tears it off. It's like literally the shadow whooshes across the room and taking by surprise and knocking her through a wall with a feeling of force, leaving Kalliban holding the narwhal tusk, going, "Oh, Dragon Princess, If we were to unite, the Empress would tremble before us. And I think Kalliban snaps the horn.
First, I think I'm going to let Phaethon have a moment to intervene.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh boy. I think. I mean, I'm trying to like. So if I try to, like, like, what would the move be to just straight up try to like take the horn from you?
That would probably be.
Can I just? One of the things you can pull against the nemesis is a moment's hesitation. When you make a move against fellowship, they may raise one bond they hold with you to make you hesitate.
I do not have a bond with Kalliban.
Ah, sucks to be you.
Yeah, I'd say it would probably be an overcome because you can overcome to avoid, redirect, or prevent the harm something would cause by rolling blood. So if we take in this case the harm being possession of / destruction of the narwhal tusk, overcome is probably the most appropriate.
All right, this is gonna go great. That's a 7.
Okay.
So...
I believe that means that you you can choose to either pay a price and take the 10+ result, or to create a temporary solution. A temporary solution will delay the threat, but when the time is up, it'll be back in force. So I'm actually going to make a suggestion here for what the price will be before you make the decision.
Sure.
Because I believe that you have one of the objects of gear you have is the Empire's is a weakness of the Empire.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that if you expend your use of that as the price, then you will be able to take the 10+ result, as you know some hidden weakness of the and obviously you can say what that is that will allow you to.
Could I ask Kalliban to command lore on what that is?
Yeah, sure thing.
So, can you rephrase that question for me so I'm answering it correctly? What do you need me to answer?
What is the weakness of... So, one of my gear things is a weakness of the Empire. What is the weakness that I'm exploiting to take the horn from you?
The weakness, and this is expended once you use it. Is that what we're saying, or is what's the narrative fiction? Okay. Let's say you own a fragile remnant of the ancient harbingers, which almost when expanded cages and holds Kalliban for a moment, and the moon and the darkness sort of retracts back in, and you can see this scared looking child underneath the magic, giving you the moment to strike.
Nice. Yeah, I mean the strike is taking the horn and saying something angsty.
Awesome. Yeah, and so I think given the time, we're at 5-2 now. I personally, I am open to challenge on this. This is not word of God. I'm quite happy for at this point for basically the episode to end, as it were, with Phaethon making an escape with the narwhal tusk and an unconscious Sabila. I think because of the stuff we've got set up, I think I would like I would quite like for you to be able to make it to the Islanders with this tusk, but perhaps for us to pick up next time with some sort of escape from the Empire, or similar. Does that suit everyone?
Sounds good to me.
That works for me.
Yep.
I'm actually.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I'm actually okay with Kalliban taking advantage and taking Sabila if they can't have the horn.
The choice between the horn and Sabila. Whoa, let's pick up on that as a scene next time. Let's have a to be continued. ...
Yeah. Like it just focuses on that for a
sure
moment.
thing.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
We'll have to
like
choose between the horn and Sabila, and then we can really see who loves her most.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Oh boy.
No, that's okay. That's an interesting choice. I think that's cool. I suppose, more what it was. I don't want us necessarily for us to pick up next time with just a straight continuation of this scene, if you know what I mean. I'd like us to reach a point of resolution, but I'm happy with that point of resolution being.
Could we
up in
frame
the
the scene at the start of next time, and then maybe give Phaethon the sort of the first scene to sort of wherever we set up the decision that they made. I think that would be quite.
Oh
exactly,
yeah, the fallout. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even his, like, he's gonna pick Sabila. Like,
oh, what?
not even his decision.
Why won't you let me have friends?
Because you suck!
Awesome. Well, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, everyone. I'm going to stop recording now, and then we'll just have a few minutes of stars and wishes if people are cool with that. But yeah, no, thank you very much, everyone. That's been a good, fun session.
Also, end of session.
Oh yes, also end of session moves. I'll do that for coming because it's not super interesting so yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and see you again if you have been watching.